turn our attention now to the 1500, the men's A1500. So we're going to go back-to-back A races here. Hip number 1, Aidan Roberts of Essendon. Number 2, Nicholas Blum of Unattached. Number 3, Mitch Thompson of Deakin. 4, Yuan Chow Louis of Doncaster. Number 5, Sam Williams of Melbourne Uni. 6, Luca De Conza of St Kevin's. Number 7, Matthew Scott, also of Melbourne Uni. Number 8, Nathan Pearce of Western Ats. Number 9, Felix Lonergan of St Kevin's. 10, Tom Bowers of Old Scotch. 11, Joshua Collins of St Kevin's. 12, Will Lewis of St Kevin's. 13, Tom Selwood of St Kevin's. And 14, Nicholas Baggett of Box Hill. So the sole Box Hill athlete there in Nicholas Baggett and a lot of St Kevin's. So there's a big showing from them, and they seem to be growing a pretty good little distance group down there at St Kevin's. We've seen a few of them in the 800 and now here in the A1500. So it'll be interesting to see how they all pan out here.
Absolutely. Will Lewis, the highest seeded of the St Kevin's boys tonight, and he had a pretty solid performance a couple of weeks ago here at the White Horse Classic. So he's an up-and-coming athlete, I believe, looking to go to college later in this year, or later next year, should I say. So he'll be one to watch out for in this race. Incentives for this 1500-metre event. Looks like the boys will be just a little bit off based on their seed times, but you never know what could happen. If 3:40 or better will get them $500, and the $125 would go to anyone who can break 3 minutes and 45 seconds.
Well, hey, never say never. Nathan Pearce coming off a really good training camp up there at Falls Creek, so you never know what altitude can do to a man. So it'll be interesting to see who's going to take it out here, because again, it's looking like in these A races there's no pacemaking, so they've all got to do their own pacing. I think we're about to go into the starters' hands, so
Aidan Roberts, the athlete from Essendon, is the highest seeded racer at the moment. Juan Chow Louis, we haven't seen him race for a little while, apart from a couple of weeks ago at the White Horse Classic, but prior to that, seemed he had a bit of a hiatus from the track for a little while, so he's quite a fast PB for tonight, so we'll see how he performs.
Well, the wind has died down. The attention is there on the back straight. This is one of the best feelings I reckon you get as a young athlete, when all the eyes are on you and you're out here trying to run a PB. A beautiful Tuesday night at the home of PB, so a lot of things falling into place, and hopefully we can see a few quick ones. Mitch Thompson also won the 3K at the last Milers Club, so he's got a bit of distance in his legs. Let's see if he can carry that over to a shorter distance in the 1500. As these boys, a big field of 14, are going to try and sort themselves out.
Matthew Scott, the athlete from Melbourne University, would probably be my pick across this field. He's had a couple of great races so far this season. Has quite a turn of speed as well, which will come in handy later on in this race.
Yeah, that is a very good selection. I'm going to go, look, based off the fact of what I saw him do when we were at Trinity, Tom Selwood, hip number 13 there, now running for St Kevin's. He has an amazing amount of speed at the back end of races. So if he's within a sniff with 400, 600 metres to go, you better believe he's going to be putting his foot on the gas pedal and seeing who he can burn off in that last part of the race. So it's going to be a really interesting one as they're now going back into their stride. So a little bit of a hold up here, but undoubtedly this is going to be an incredibly fast race.
Might be just a bit of an issue with the timing system in changing from 800s over to our first 1500 metre events and a new starting location for this next block of races. So I've got 12 events to go. This is event 18 and we're going up to 30 for the evening. The last one's around 9:30. We'll finish off with the lower graded men's and women's 1500 metre races.
Looks like they've worked it out here as the starter. It's called them back to the start here. I don't know about you, Mick, but I always found the start to be the hardest part of a race, just trying to find your position and find a place to get comfortable. So hopefully these boys can do it a lot quicker than I was ever able to do. They'll look laser focused.
Absolutely. I always used to panic and run as fast as I could in the first 100 metres and say, well, if anyone wants to pass me, they can do it, but I'm not getting caught up in this rubbish.
Yeah, I'm right with you there.
Getting on the rails, get comfortable and settle into my own pace, as annoying as it probably was for the rest of the field.
And racing now. So the the first 100 metres, it's always just a bit of a feel out as the boys start to look left and right and see who's going to go to the front. And it looks like it is going to be Scott of Melbourne Uni. He's going to take it up. Will Lewis on his shoulder. And the fastest seed of our Essendon athlete there right on the inside. Selwood just behind Lewis there. Baggett, the lone Box Hill athlete, he's also on the outside. So it's always a nice position to be on the outside of lane one. You've got a lot of options, but some athletes tend to like to be on the rail, do a lot less work. But Scott of Melbourne Uni, he's going to lead him out through the first 200. Selwood on the outside. And the hopeful collegiate athlete of the future, Will Lewis there, he's going to tuck right in behind Scott, 300 metres through, and they're going to roll through in about 44, 45 seconds. So right on for that 3:45.
It does put them on for pace. Often these athletes might get a little bit excited in the first 300 metres as they just settle into the comfort without the pacemaker tonight. It'll take a little while to feel themselves out early on, but who knows, Matthew Scott could have a breakthrough performance tonight, as could Will Lewis. So these two athletes highest seeded, or amongst the highest seeded in this race, as the athletes all start to string out right back to the athlete from Old Scotch in Tom Bowers at the tail end of the field.
Well, I'll tell you what, Scott looks incredibly comfortable. I honestly did not even realise that they're about to roll through in 45 there for the first 300. So he's looking extremely smooth as Lewis has not moved from his shoulder. He's not going to let him make any moves on his watch. So Lewis is tucked in behind him. Selwood's still on the outside there. And as I said, if he is within a sniff with 600 metres to go, then he is going to absolutely hammer that in. As our fastest heat time or seed time in there, Aiden Roberts is tucked in nicely on the inside. And Chow Louis just behind them there, Baggett on the outside, Thompson behind them. So we've got a pretty good group at the front as they're about to come through 800 metres. And it's all Scott, and he has not relinquished the lead for his second of this race. Lewis as well has not left second place. So they're going to go through in about 2:02, 2:03, which is pretty good moving there, just outside the 3:45. But we'll see if there's a kick on the cards.
They'll put him around there. Entered seed time around the 3:50 mark, the current pace they are at. Scott looking very comfortable on the front of the field, as you mentioned, Mitch. Chow Louis as well. He always used to have a massive kick as a junior, and we haven't seen him race in a little while, but keep an eye in him. He is sitting in about sixth position at the moment. Baggett is slowly moving up. Selwood is right there as well, as is Mitch Thompson.
Mitchy Thompson now. He's had his time to sit at the back, and now he wants to make his presence felt. Selwood still on the outside. Scott now starting to go backwards a little bit, and it's Will Lewis right behind him. He's grimacing, but Mitch Thompson, he looks incredibly comfortable at the bell. 2:50 now. And he's looking good. Lewis right behind him. Selwood behind that. Roberts, Baggett, Scott. And we're starting to see another St. Kevin's athlete on the outside. Louis caught behind. But Mitch Thompson, he went with 500 metres to go. And he has put his foot down. Will Lewis with the long locks. 300 metres to go. And Mitch Thompson, he's looking incredible here, Mick. Lewis behind him.
Absolutely. Thompson just looks over his left shoulder as Lewis's legs are moving quicker than his. Tom Selwood trying to bridge that gap as well into the rest of the field. A few athletes fade back into the distance. Thompson has put on another turn of speed as Lewis follows. Lewis's legs just look quicker because he's got those flashy shoes on as he gets up right onto his heels and will soon be up on his shoulder as they enter the front straight, Mitch.
Yeah, and Thompson is still going to hold him out on the outside. Lewis on his shoulder, but Mitch Thompson, he's not giving up that easy. He's done a lot of work with 500 metres to go, and he's deserved this one. Salute there, Mitch Thompson. You've got that, and so he does. Will Lewis behind him. Selwood holds on for third. Scott, Louis through now. Baggett and the rest of the field starts to make their way through. Roberts now as the rest come through. And Mitch Thompson, that's spooky. I said salute, and he said, how do you do? So he saluted the crowd. And a great race from him. 500 metres to go. Not a typical place to make a move, but he's 2 from 2 in Milers Club this year. He won the 3K, and now he's won the A1500, and he'll be stoked with that. A confidence booster and a great race there, Mick.
The old Tuesday night specialist, although was the first meet on a Thursday night. the old midweek specialist.
Midweeker. Good on him. That's fantastic to see. And a great gutsy effort. He was not going to let Lewis take that one away from him on the outside there. And he is stoked with that. You can see the smile on his face. And it's good to see the sportsmanship down there. A lot of yellow singlets as well. But everybody getting around each other. And I think that's even Matt Hussey down there shaking some hands. So great sportsmanship from him. He's coming in from the outside. And awesome to see a great men's A1500. And well done, Mitch Thompson. That is gutsy running. And well done to the rest of the field. Lewis, he stayed in that second place. And he thought he could get him. But Mitch Thompson held on strong.